Hi, everybody. Um, I want to pay homage right now for the passing of my friend Molly Stanley. She was a very good friend. I met her when I was on a bus trip with my mom, and we did Watkins Glen. There was like 830 something steps. It's very beautiful. Um, but as you see in the pictures, I'm doing it with a cane. I brought a cane. I was smart. And Molly was a nurse, so she took my hand and helped me do the last 30 steps. After that, we became friends. She went to my mom's. We had a little wine cafe thing on my mom's deck. Then she came to my house. I did some candle magic for her. I did a reading for her on the house. And I made a trip to the different wineries and had a nice selection of wine for us to try. And I also made my 80s style nachos, which went over very well. She met all my kitties and was really impressed with them, especially Bella Boo. She had a Corvette. We did a couple car shows at the Cassadaga Legion, which was nice. And she had me and my mom over for Christmas, which was extremely nice. It was a beautiful meal. Her tree was so pretty, and her gifts were very personal and very special. And in fact, I'm still using the coasters that she gave me today. They're over on my end table that has all the fairies on it. I have a stand that my mom got, but the top came off. My husband glued it back on, and it's been perfect. It has two little fairies. It's like somebody took a plate and glued two vases on it upside down and put fairies in them and then covered the top with a plate, kind of like a bird feeder stand. But I used it with all my fairies from Party Light, the Ariana, and it worked out really nice. It also has my moon lamp on it, so I have the moon and two fairies sitting in front of it. It's quite nice. Anyway, I just wanted to pay homage to her. She was a very special friend, and I hope where she is, she's happy. And I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss her a lot. Now I have another friend who is battling cancer, spinal cancer. So I'm asking you all to set aside a little time, especially my witches in training and the girls that I've trained already who are third degree like I am. And for the people who aren't, but just love me and will say prayers, my tribe as I call you, if you could take some time and pray for her, light a candle and cast a spell for her, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm going to go out at twilight right before it gets dark because we still have Bear Prince around, so I think he's still around. I'm going to light a candle and cast a spell for her tonight, and then I'm going to be doing a bottle spell as soon as she sends me the items that I need. This is a very aggressive cancer because of the place it's in. To surgically remove it could leave her paralyzed. To drain the spinal fluid could cause the cancer to spread to other areas of the body because you're pulling it out. And even though the syringe, the fluid would be going up into the syringe, it does give way at the bottom, so it could release the cells and they could go and migrate and grow someplace else. So she doesn't have a lot of options. Radiation. But as we know, chemotherapy and radiation destroy good cells, and you're talking her spine. So again, she's left without a whole lot of options. Now, she is doing some great things. She's doing some holistic things. I will not get into them on Facebook. But if you could just set aside a little time, her name is Shelly. She had a dog that looked a lot like Luna. And that's kind of how we met, just through our love for our dogs. I do miss Luna very much. I find my days strange, because she was always with me. I mean, I stepped on her sometimes because she was just right there. When I walked, she had to put her side right against me. Of course, as she got blind, she used me for sense of direction. I miss her. I have only had this connection 4 times. I had it with Dusty, my first dog. Then I had it with Dakota, but Dakota was meant to be Casey's, so I backed off, and Kiana and Dakota had a beautiful relationship. And then Naria came. Well, Dustin came, but he was everybody's comedy. He loved me very much, but he would go to everybody and give them love and comedy. It wasn't until Naria came around that I got that bond, but for whatever reason, she had to leave before her 9th birthday. And Luna was kind of Kiana's new dog, and she became my dog. It just happened. I mean, she still did a lot with Kiana, but she had to be with me. I mean, to the point where she chewed my son's camper door and almost got down to the bare metal. She liked traveling and going places with us, and I found the best way to travel with her because she did not like to sit on the seat. I honestly think she got car sick, kind of, because she would just move and bark, and she was so uncomfortable. So we had a cot, and we set it up right against the back window, and I rode in the back with the cats and the puppy. The puppy was kenneled, the cats were kenneled, and everything was tied down with ratchet straps, so everybody was seat belted in, including the cot. I had a little bucket for potty. I had electrical things so I could charge my phone, so I could still watch my movies or go on YouTube or whatever. And we laid on the cot. We had our blankets. We had snacks. I had water that I gave everybody. Yeah, there were some bumps, some areas, I flew a little bit, but for the most part, she didn't bark. She curled up and laid down as if we were at home. So I do think she was car sick, but by riding in the back and not being able to see the passing vehicles and being on a bed and being with me in the same way she would be at home in the bedroom, it calmed her right down. Plus, the puppy wasn't alone, and neither were the kitties. And then Kiana took Sirius and had the whole back seat for him. And at that point, Sheba rode up front. She was Tom's dog. She was a co-pilot. She sat in the passenger chair, seat belted, of course. And so was Sirius, as well as my daughter, Kiana. We all believe in safety when we travel. And we travel. I mean, we go to North Carolina. I will be going to Arkansas in a little bit and spending some time with my son, my daughter-in-law, Jaslyn, and my little peanut, Jamila, which I really can't wait. I haven't seen her since she was 3. And I would like to connect with her instead of being the funny lady she talks to on the phone. I have a connection with my other granddaughters. When I stayed there, I had a wonderful time with them. I try to stay in contact. I send them cards, buy them things, talk to them. My son calls a lot, so I'll jump in on the conversation and ask to talk to the girls. And when Victoria's not mad at me, I call her, but for whatever reason, and I really don't understand it, because you walked into my house with muddy and barn boots and tracked mud all over. No, my place isn't whatever, but Kiana does vacuum and mop. And I had set up my bunnies and chicks, the peeps, and they were all clean. I had just washed the chicks. Everything was clean. And the kids walked in with their boots on. And of course, they had mud. So I had to take boots off. Unfortunately, I had to take one of the chicks and put it in the wash machine immediately. Kiana had to wipe her rug and her blankets because she's been sleeping on the floor with Lachlan because of his leg. She's not sleeping on the bed. So all her blankets and pillows and things were on the floor. So no, me and Kiana weren't very happy about that. I mean, I wear house shoes when I go somewhere. I do not wear the shoes that I wear outside in anybody's house. So I was a little miffed about it. I just expect to have the same courtesy that I give. And it wasn't. And the fact of it is, the girls did track stuff in. And then the baby, my little Serenity, had spilled juice all over her. And I wanted to get her in some different clothes and clean her up. Anything she touched instantly became sticky. So I ended up getting my face wipes because there was no diaper bag at that time and no baby wipes, and trying to clean her up the best I could. I was going to wash her clothes and put her in like one of my t-shirts, even though it would have been long, at least she would have been covered. But then her mother came in with the diaper bag and did things her way, which was fine. The fact is, I didn't have the tools I needed to take care of the child. I didn't have a diaper bag with baby wipes to wipe her up. She's too young to be using just soap, even though my soap's all antibacterial. And most of the time it's Mrs. Meyer's or Bath and Body Works. But that's still not something that you want to put on a child's body or a child's face, because it is scented. So I felt that I was giving the kids and I wasn't given the tools that I needed. No drinks, and I have iced tea and vitamin water. Vitamin water is not like Gatorade. It's not anything like that. It's simply water with vitamins in it. So that's what I ended up giving them, and some iced tea. I did give them some snacks because they were hungry. But again, I wasn't left with a diaper bag, and I wasn't left with the tools I needed to take care of the baby. Miracle and Faith were fine. I got their boots off. I got the blankets in the wash machine with the stuffed animals and got fresh blankets so they could cover up and cuddle up and watch the movies and the TV shows and play some of Kiana's video games. So they were occupied and they were happy. And I had given Faith a geode, which she really liked, and explained to her how they were made. And Miracle piped up. She wanted one, so of course I got her one. Like I said, I know my house is whatever, but Kiana's room was vacuumed and her bedding was on the floor, which ended up getting, and then the kitchen ended up getting boot prints all over the place. I gave her a gift, something that I made. I also gave her some of my first blooms, one to Miracle, one to Faith, and I gave them to Victoria. I gave her one of the new bottles spells I'm selling, the Wishes, Hopes, and Dreams. It's a bottle spell. It has dried flowers in it. It has crystals in it. It has oil. And then it has a little piece of paper. It's parchment paper for you to write your hopes, wishes, or dreams. And then you're to put it in the bottle and you're to seal it with wax. And then you're to place a tea light on top of it and let that burn. And you're to continue to do that until you get your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Once you do get your hopes, wishes, and dreams, then you can keep it, put it someplace in case you need it again. I wanted her to have one. I also gave my student Jackie and her daughter Samaya one, and they seem to be very pleased with them. And I'm about ready to get, I'm not good. The girls want brooms so they can fly around when we play witch school. I want to say love, by the way. But I don't want to use feathers. I want to use actual broom type stuff. So I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to decorate them with the colored cords, and Faith wants some shells, so does Miracle. I'm going to try some small crystals because most of the brooms I make, people use to sweep the negativity and stuff out of their house, or they're hung up. So they're not shaked, they're not going between, so I have to be careful. I'm going to try to do it with color with the nylon, and I also have some beautiful bandanas and some spring colors. But I'm going to get them done for the girls, and I promised that I would make one for Victoria's home. Since that day, there's been a lot of negativity. All I got to say is ever since I met you, I have tried. And I never do anything right. It's almost like my mother. I could never vacuum right for her. I could never do the dishes right. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. I grew up with that negativity, and I don't like that negativity. If I had the proper tools, I could have taken care of the baby so she didn't have to sit there and wet sticky clothes, getting Kiana's blanket sticky, getting my bunnies and my chicks sticky after they walked in with their muddy boots and got mud all over everything. And you proceeded to walk in the house, and I was very surprised that my son didn't take his boots off either. We never wore our shoes in the house. And regardless of what anybody thinks, we do vacuum. She does mop the floor. She does try to keep her bedroom clean. But she's taking care of Lockie right now. There was just a lot put on me. And I tried not to be mad, but I was. It was just more work for me that I don't need right now. I am trying to downsize and trying to figure out how to do this. I keep looking at pictures of Buckner Street, and I really think if I could get some walls, like the kitchen area, I think what would work best is if Tom put some cupboards up around that window and we put a bar in like what my mom has, and she uses her ice cream chairs, which I have at my other house up in the attic. So there could be a bar, and I could probably fit 4 chairs there, just a little breakfast bar. And then I'm working on trying to find the actual set to that black chair. There's a 3-seater, a corner piece, and then that piece. So I'd have 2. So what I would do is do the long piece, corner piece, shorter piece, and then have the shorter piece on the other side. And if there's a chair, figure that out. But I'm working on that. I've been in contact with some antique stores explaining what I want, and I've taken pictures of the bench. So hopefully something pops. I'm very upset because the whole thing was on sale for $350, the entire set, including the table and the hutch. $350 in Fredonia. Excuse me. It was during their attic and cellar days, and at the time I didn't have $350. But I am trying very hard. I'm also dealing with a leg that does not fit. I'm getting into a new leg that now needs adjustments, and I have been doing this for 2 years with the VA. Prior to that, I did it 2 years with Nelson. So for 4 years, I have been dealing with ill-fitting legs, making it difficult for me to do things. And I don't really have any help. I've asked for help, but the people that I've asked, just because of their jobs or because of where they live, they can't do it. The first time I moved into a house, I had Tiara help me. She helped me unpack everything and set up that house, as did Lynn Costello. So I had some help. When I moved in to Buckner Street, there was a garage, so all the boxes could go in the garage, and I could unpack a box or put furniture where I wanted. It was a lot easier setting up that house because it had a garage. This place does not have storage. We have 2 sheds, that's it. 3 closets, that's it. There's no pantry, there's no coat closet, there's no hallway closet to put your towels and your blankets, nothing. 3 bedrooms, 3 closets, a kitchen, and like 2 living rooms, and everything's open. Well, I'm used to having walls, so I think I'm going to make some walls. There's those things that they had back in the Westerns, the women changed behind them. Well, they make them now, and you can put pictures in them. So I think what I'm going to do is put one between the living room and the kitchen and have Tom build the bar and build cupboards. That way we'll have more space and just have a breakfast bar and work on the breakfast nook and getting everything out of the pool room except for my Amish tables, which will work in front of the window, the old-fashioned 1970s record player thing, and I want to get the entertainment center that I bought from Joe. That way I can have a stereo and a TV in the pool room as well, and have that up against the wall, and that be the only thing. So I would probably have to have a small queue for shots that ended up over there, over by the windows. And I've decided to make some screens out of metal, bend them, and fit them up against the windows. So when we break or we play pool, if a ball should go off the table, it doesn't go through the window because it would hit the screens. I haven't quite figured out how to do that, but I'll get there. It has not been easy. And I was promised help that I never got. I am not a morning person. I take my medicine, like Miracle would say, 1 cup of coffee and 1 episode of Scooby-Doo, and then I can do breakfast and stuff like that. I don't eat breakfast per se. I like to have yogurt for breakfast. Or eggs. I'll eat scrambled eggs, but pancakes and stuff like that, I prefer to have stuff like that maybe for lunch or for dinner, but not for breakfast and not every day. I do have my sweet tooth, but having pancakes every day is just too filling for me. And with the acid reflux that I have, I really have to be careful when I eat and what I eat. But I sure appreciate it. It was just, I wasn't ready to come downstairs yet. My leg was still swollen up, and walking up and down those stairs was not easy for me, especially in an ill-footing leg. But I don't like to complain about anything because I enjoyed being upstairs with Miracle. I had my own bathroom that wasn't far away, so I could crawl to it because I don't wear my leg at night. I enjoyed the cat. Tiger would sleep with me for a while. I think he sensed my longing for Lulu. And the nights that I cried, he comforted me. He's a great cat. And I saw something that was really interesting. He left me and curled up on Miracle. And 3 minutes later, she was having a bad dream and woke up. Well, I hugged her, but the cat was there, comforting her. How did that cat know she was about to have a bad dream? That cat is a spirit, an old soul, very special cat. Very, very special cat. So was Meow Mix. My Meow Mix came to me too. It's just everything. I just do things differently. And I'm sorry about, not running right down for breakfast and everything, but that's just not how I do things. And I'm sorry about that. I tried very hard to occupy the children and include everybody in what we were doing. But there were times like Miracle wanted to do the crystal set I bought her, grow your own crystal. Now that's something that the baby just can't be involved in. She wanted to work on her diary. And she loves to watch the zoo program, which is very educational. I was very surprised that that's what she likes to watch. But unfortunately, we couldn't have time alone because she has to play with her sisters, which I understand. I just wish I could have had some time to grow the crystals with her and help her a little bit with the things that she's struggling with in school. Going to a new school, going to a new state, it's not easy. There's some people that are not being very nice to her, and then there's some people that are. I did listen to her. I listened to her quite a bit. We had our talks in the morning that she didn't have school. I also got up with her every morning, helped her get proper clothes, Kiana brushed her hair and put braids in it. She would walk down. I rode down with you once. I made sure she had a snack. I had bought some of those fruit snacks. They're not the fruit roll-ups, they're the healthy ones. And of course, she likes my blueberry Velveeta, the basically English breakfast biscuits, and they're healthy. There's not a lot of sugar in them. There's no high fructose. There's no crap in them, basically. And you get 4 of them. So she ate 2 for breakfast and said she was going to save them. And then I gave her the fruit snack. So I was up. I made sure that the jeans she wore weren't too high, because I think she actually had a few pairs of her sister's jeans, and they were a little high, and I said, you don't want to wear those to school. I said, the kids will pick on you. They'll call them floodwater pants. So I made sure that she picked out her clothes the night before, which helped incredibly. And then she was like, I got all this time now. I don't have to wake mom up yet. I can watch the zoo program. So she was really happy about getting up 45 minutes earlier than she normally did, because it gave her a chance to eat something and then gather all her things, get dressed, brush her teeth, get her hair done, and then she could watch her zoo program, which, like I said, is really an interesting program. I've actually started watching it. I played with Faith during the day. I bought her the ball pit, and it was going well because she'd tear it apart and Faith would put it back together because she liked everything the way it's supposed to be. And I think Otter did it on purpose. I know I've gotten off tangent. This was supposed to be about doing something for Shell, but there's other things going on in my life right now. I try very hard. It costs us money to come there, and unfortunately, Sirius ended up with an issue because he was kenneled for too long, and that just can't happen again. We are going to have to figure out a situation where he can be tied so he does not have to be in that kennel. And then he's going to have more bathroom breaks. I don't know how we change that. I just don't understand. I mean, everything went pretty well. There was only one thing that really bothered me, and I don't understand why. I was talking to Sirius. He was in his kennel, and it started out the cat scoop that the kids use. It's Miracle's job to do the cat litter boxes every day. Well, she didn't leave the scoop up in her room. She left it down in the bathroom where the other cat litter box is. Faith was asked to look for it. So, of course, she went upstairs and couldn't find it. She never thought to look inside the shower in her bathroom, because that's where it was. So, Victoria used ours. No problem. Ours is metal, not plastic. She threw it. She never said a word, never said, "Here, Ma, here's your thing," and walked over and handed it to me. No, she threw it and it hit the concrete. Well, it bent it. I mean, it's still usable, but eventually we'll have to get a new one, because where it bent is now, like when you bend a piece of metal, it will always have a weak spot in it. And I just didn't understand. Were you mad at me? I mean, who just takes a cat litter scoop and throws it in the middle of the garage and never said a word? Never said thank you, never said here's your scoop. And I was like, honestly, what the fuck? That is the only thing about the trip that totally bothered me, and the fact that I got stuck picking up the toys. Granted, the girls did help, but it seemed like if I played with them and didn't pick up the toys, there was attitude. So I tried to do my song that I did with my own kids, because my kids picked up their toys. When I said, pick up your toys, they put all the toys away. They had 2 toy boxes underneath the pool table. probably 3. Then they had the entertainment center, and it had cupboards in the bottom, and they had other toys in there and games and things, books, that type of stuff. They had a big rug that they sat on. It was their toy rug, so if anything got spilled, I could roll it up. It was a round rug. It was a $300 rug that JCPenney's, that was braided, had on sale. So I got one to go, an oval one to go underneath the pool table. Then I got one to go over by the couch. And then I got one in front of the pool table, in front of the entertainment center, and it was their toy rug. Not that they didn't play all over the family room. It just helped gear where the toys stayed. They had toy boxes in their rooms, and they had toy shelves, and things got picked up, and baths got done, chores got done, TV time, and bedtime. That was the only thing that didn't make any sense to me, was why you threw the scoop in the middle of the floor instead of handing it to me. It was like you were mad that I didn't go into Faith's bathroom and find the scoop. It's not my job to look for things that the kids use. And it was in the morning. And I was trying to spend a moment with my dog, who I missed very much, and I'm not over Luna. Not by a long shot. And every now and then, I needed to take a minute. Like Dad playing his game, I watched my YouTube things. I wasn't being disrespectful. I danced. I played Witch School outside and inside. I played dinosaurs. I bought them some cool toys. I really thought that ball pit was going to be a hit, but just like the dice, Otter bites the stuff. Well, that needs to be addressed, but that's not my place to address it. Yes, if she did it, I would say, Otter, why are you doing that? Are you teething? Do you have a tooth coming in? Maybe she needs a teething ring. I don't know. The ball pit was geared for her age, and I asked if it was okay before I bought any of the toys. I really wanted to get them those Crocs. But you didn't know what size. Point was, it started out good. And I had found that with your OCD, about 2 weeks, and then you want your house back, which is completely understandable. The spraying of the air freshener on Tom's machine wasn't cool, because then he had to breathe that in, and then he couldn't use it until he cleaned it. There's just certain things that cannot be sprayed with air freshener of ours. I had some things that got sprayed too, but, those are just little things, nothing to get upset about, really. The day the landlord came unexpectedly, I had cleaned the kitchen. I had taken care of the cake. I had wiped everything down, the chairs and the table. I had wiped the counters down, the refrigerator down, and I was about ready to do the dishes. Plus, I had the girls keep the toys on the rug in the living room, kind of like what I did with the toy rug. And I had the dogs out. Now, I did not expect this person to come, but I handled it. I also called you to let you know what was going on. But your house was picked up except for the dishes. I tried to help out where and when I could. And when I walked into your house, Otter did run and jump in my arms with a little scream, kind of like the scream she made when she opened the puppy salon. So to say that you and Tom and your mother and aunt are the only ones that Otter runs to, well, I've seen her run to her papa, she's run to me, and she loves her Aunt KK. That wasn't only hurtful to me, it was hurtful to Tom, and it was hurtful to my daughter. And I don't take that kindly. I love my daughter, and my daughter does a hell of a lot for you. A lot. She helps Tommy when he asks. She helps you with the kids. She cleans. She cooks. She tried to take care of our dogs. And she has to take care of Dad. And yeah, she makes my coffee. But to sit there and say that the only person that Otter goes to and jumps in their arms is your mom and your aunt and you and Tom. I got it on video of her going to Kiana and getting picked up, all happy to see her. Kind of like Jamila, which she calls her Aunt Boo. And I definitely have to say there's quite a big bond with Faith. And I've always had a bond with Miracle. And I don't care if you want to blast all this stuff. I find it funny, though, that you sit there and ignore your mother's phone calls and talk so negative about them. But then when they're there, they're the cat's ass. So I'm going to suggest that from now on, you don't talk negative about your mother to me, because it doesn't make any sense to me to sit there and say what a terrible mother she was. She was. Now she's a grandmother. And from what I see, she's a good grandmother. No, I'm not there. And we can't be there. There was no room. And I'm sorry, but when your family's around, you treat us differently. That Easter that I bought that bike and everything, you just took it over like you bought the bike, and I was just there. I couldn't sit with anybody. I ended up sitting with your aunt, and all she did was complain about her boyfriend not being able to come and how horrible her feet felt. And it was just negative, negative, negative. And I don't want to sit and have Easter dinner with somebody that's that negative. So we just figure that when you have your family, you have your family. We were perfectly fine here doing our own little Easter. So I'm just not gonna do the childish crap. If you want to blast on Facebook that your mother and your aunts are the best grandmothers in the world and aunts in the world, fine. Because in my heart, I know your kids love my daughter. They love their Aunt KK. And I also know that Faith loves me and Miracle loves me very much. And Otter's getting to know me. But she definitely loves her papa, and when I came downstairs, she always gave me a hug and yelled at me to come downstairs. So there was some kind of trust there. I have to go let Sirius out, but this, I guess, ended up being about me being slightly upset about some of the things that have gone on. And I'm just not going to deal with them anymore. Come on, if you want to go out, you're going out. Do you need to go potty, or you just want to wander around the house? Well, wander around the house then. He's going to wander around the house. You got to go? Did you go say hi? Okay. You got to go potty? That's not your ball. That's his ball. Apparently he was playing with his toys and didn't pick them up. See, even the dogs have toy baskets for their toys. I'm gonna have a yogurt and what? And oh, it's a Christmas decoration. Must be the tails. Come on, baby, because it's probably nice and. Oh, we definitely. I don't think need the heater on today. Try to stay out of the mud, sweetheart. I'm gonna go get his cup. Anyway. I use these cups for muddy feet. They're a great invention. They really are. Very, very happy to have some of the stuff that, we have. All I'm gonna say is I'm done playing the games. Some of the things that were done and left here, I don't think were very nice, but it's not going to do me any good to say anything about it. The long line of garbage bags that's got to be taken care of. Yes, I have some too, waiting on Louie. And then where the dog pen was, nobody bothered to clean the. I put my poop in the woods. It's the place that I put it, and you could have walked it over somewhere. There's blankets and toys and cups. I gotta go pick the stuff up because Casey's gotta mow the lawn. The lawn's getting up there. But I can't see anything. My son had to work and had to do quite a bit. But, you expect a certain courtesy, we'll call it, when we're there. Well, so do I. I'm 56 years old. I shouldn't have to pick up dog crap from other dogs that aren't mine. I shouldn't have to pick up garbage. I shouldn't have to pick up blankets and toys and wash them so Casey can mow. I covered some things that I thought were important. No, we are working avidly, actually, in the middle, going through the cupboards and getting rid of the stuff that we just don't need. And me and Tom have come up with an idea. We're going to put cupboards around that window and just put a bar like my mother has and use the same chairs that my mother has. So we'll have a breakfast bar, but we'll also have a place for extra things. So I'm going to end this because this wasn't supposed to be about this, but apparently I needed to get this off my chest. I am looking forward to going out to see my older son because I haven't seen Jamila since the wedding. And I'm definitely looking forward to spending some time with Ashton. He is my baby of the family, and I do miss him. And I shouldn't have to apologize for seeing Ashton or my decision to not treat her any differently. Yes, I know what she did wasn't right, and you made that perfectly clear. and have grouped me in that category, and that's fine because you don't know what happened back then. You don't know how Tom was when he couldn't work anymore or had a surgery. You don't understand going from having a lot of money because his money paid the bills and my money was fun money or utilities. I went back and forth. I paid the mortgage for quite a while, and I paid the mortgage when I wasn't there. I made sure that everybody was taken care of properly. But you weren't there. So you want to judge me and put me in the same category as her? Fine. Yes, I know it hurts. I know how much I hurt Tom. But I paid for a $25,000 wedding. I stood in front of his family and our friends in a church, and I owned up to what I did, and it was wrong, and I said I would never do it again, and I haven't. The wedding was beautiful. My kids were in it. I will never, ever regret spending the amount of money I spent because it was a wonderful day and I got pictures and things to remember it. And I've stood by Tom through losing the house. I found Buckner Street. It was a skipping stone. And then we agreed on this place. Now, I have tried very hard to maintain with him, but it's not easy because his disability has made life for us kind of hard because he can't be on his feet. And honestly, I'm still on my feet, but I fight, and I take morphine. You don't get morphine just for nothing. I have a lot of pain, and it would be nice that was taken into consideration. And it would have been nice understanding that I needed a little time to myself. And I also think it would be nice if Miracle could have some time to herself in her room so she can write in her diary and she can write out her feelings and get through what's bothering her in school. And I did listen to her and I did give her advice and I told her a diary is a good thing to have. The only problem is Faith comes up and tries to steal it, which she can't read it anyway, but it's a privacy thing. And I tried to get that across to her and told Miracle that she needed to find a better place to put it. But her writing out her feelings about the people in school that are bothering her, I think is a good thing. Now, her lying about stuff, that needs to be addressed, but it's simply she's having some issues with some kids in school. So I tried to address the clothing because she was getting teased about some of the things that she was wearing. The fact that she was wearing mismatched socks one day, which my kids occasionally that happens. Kids are cruel. And I tried to give her some tools to help her get through that. So to sit there and say that your mom is the only one that takes the time to listen to Miracle, I'm not playing the childish stuff. Okay? You sit there and tell me and Tom how horrible your mother is. Basically. And then when she comes, you put everything on Facebook like she's the best. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you were able to work things out with your mother. I am, because I know what it's like to have a shitty mother. I've got one that takes the cake. But I'm not playing these games with you anymore. I'm too old. I got too much on my plate. And if you don't like me, fine. You haven't liked me since day one. But you're his wife, and I have to respect that. All I'm asking for is the same respect when you're at my house. Because eventually my house is going to get straightened out and look the way it should. I just wish you could understand. And again, this was supposed to be about Shell. So if everybody could take some time to pray for her, because she is a special friend. And I am sorry that this ended up on the video, but obviously it's something that I needed to talk out and get through. Not that she'll ever see this video, but people that know her will. Anyway, I love everybody. And if anybody in the comments could give me some advice on how to better get along with your daughter-in-law, I'd appreciate it, because I have tried and tried and tried and tried, and it always ends up the same way. When we leave and something always happens, and I'm just tired of it. I'm me, you're you. You know, a Cancer and a Pisces should be able to get along, but we don't. I'm not supposed to get along with Aquarius, which is what my other daughter-in-law is and what my mom is. But me and her can seem to work things out. We had one real big blow up, and we haven't had one since. And she did apologize. So, anybody got some advice about getting along with your daughter-in-laws? Leave it in the comments. This really wasn't a witchy video, but I am asking for prayers and spells. I'll probably bring the phone out when I go out. Try to. I'm nervous because, I got a bear wandering around. Anyway, I love everybody. I really do. And take care of yourself. Take care of the people that you love right now. And, bring the goddess and God into your life. Respect the Mother Earth. Take the time. It was Earth Day. So take the time to love the Mother Earth, because she could use a little love from us. All right. Blessed be.